I think hell might be about to freeze over because I'm actually about to talk about Apple for a second day, I believe in a row. Very, very strange. WWDC just happened just the other day. So this is the 7th today. Yeah, so yesterday WWDC happened. Apple announced all kinds of stuff. But the couple of things that really drew my interest were regarding the iPad. Because as an Android user, as someone that uses an Android tablet as well as a Windows tablet, the iPad has always been fascinating to me, in particular now that they're running the M1 processor, because their raw horsepower is just so absolutely obscene. These things are so fast. The software from Apple is so smooth and interesting and just polished and generally well done that if there's any Apple device that I would ever consider purchasing, it would probably be an iPad. They look really nice to me. Okay, I've never owned one actually. This may be something that's shocking to a lot of people, but it's also important to preface this as I'm about to talk about the iPad and some of the things that they've announced here at WWDC. I don't have hands-on with this. This is just sort of an outsider's Android user perspective of what I'm seeing and sort of some of the things that actually do keep me from purchasing that iPad. So let's look at the first thing that we're going to talk about here. This is something that they showed off that I don't actually remember offhand what weird name that they gave for it, but basically what it is the ability to actually have floating windows in iPadOS. You see here, he swipes in from the corner and things kind of zoom out a little bit, and you can see what I presume to be the apps that are also running here on the side as well. And then he's able to actually click on them to change what app is in the foreground. That's fine. That's kind of like the Alt-Tab thing in Windows. Not that big of a deal. But the thing that actually was interesting to me, the thing that took this a step further was, like I said, the actual ability to have multiple floating windows. I believe on iPad you can currently have two apps side by side like Android's split screen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Surely to goodness that's been a thing. But this is different. This is actually like supposed to be resizable floating windows, which I think he's about to show there. He drug one in. So now you have two windows sort of on top of each other. So I saw this and I thought to myself, wow, they are finally making the iPadOS be something more equivalent to a desktop operating system. So he's moving things around. He's resizing things now. Thought this looks really, really good. And it's always been really confusing to me in some ways, but not in some others. You've got the iPad, and it is so powerful now with the M1. It's the same processor that's in your MacBooks. It's the same processor that's in your actual computers. Yet it runs an operating system that kind of maybe slows you down a little bit. An operating system that doesn't allow you to work in the same way as you work on your computer. Why? Why do this? Why not just open things up, take off the limiter, and just let people do what they want to do? Let people do what they need to do. Let them have these multi-form windows. Let them arrange them in their own way that allows them to work more efficiently and more effectively. And I look at this and I think to myself, they're doing this now. This is actually what they are beginning to accomplish. However, I don't think that's necessarily true. Now that I've dug into it a bit further, it appears that Apple is still doing some of the things that makes me not want to buy their products. They just do odd things. Let's look at this tweet thread here from Steve Trofton Smith, I believe is how you would pronounce this. He has a thread here that was very illuminating to me. He says, Stage Manager on iPadOS 16. Stage Manager is that name that I couldn't remember. I'm coalescing my feelings about it, which are so far a net negative. He says, I hate that it shuffles and resizes windows on me. And I wondered if this is what was happening in this video. Let's go back. And you can kind of see here when he drags this out, he drags this window across, and the calendar behind it kind of shifts over to try and like get out of its way automatically. And then when he drops it, it resizes it out. Now watch again, when he slides it over, again the calendar moves over and that messaging app kind of actually scooches up a little bit. And watch again as he resizes this window. It sort of appears to be snapping into pre-configured, preset different sizes. So this is not truly free form. I would say that it's more akin to Microsoft's Snap layouts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I guess I could demo them really quickly. So if I've got a window over here, I can drag it up to the top and I get these preset, pre-configured different layouts. And if I drop one in there, it's going to let me see like, okay, here's your other things that are open. And then I could pop one in over there. I'm not going to do that because it would mess up what I'm doing on the other monitor. But you kind of see what I mean. Like they're pre-configured. But the difference is, of course, on Windows and on some other things I'm going to show you, you can also just resize them to be whatever you want them to be. So I guess what I'm getting at here is just that I don't understand why they continue to do this. The iPad is like, I've used this analogy many times, it's like having a car that has a top speed of 250 miles per hour, but you can only ever drive it on a road with a speed limit of 65. The software just doesn't let you be as productive as the hardware absolutely is capable of being. And this is a place where something like what Samsung does, I think is still just better. Let's take a look at what Samsung's approach to this is, and I'll kind of be able to show you the difference here. So this is their Tab S7. And obviously with the Tab S7, you are able to open up an application and then you're able to split window an application next to it. And all of that stuff works absolutely fine. This is, whatever. But there's another thing you can do with their software. Excuse the light ring reflection up there. Sorry about that. Where you can go into what is called Dex mode. Let's load into Dex mode. And once you're in Dex mode, you can launch an application. But then you can, just like in Microsoft's Windows, you can drag that around. Let's open up CX File Explorer. Let's resize it to whatever size we want. Let's drag it over here. If you drag it up to the top, it will maximize. If you drag it to the side, it will give you this layout just like it is in Windows. And look, I'm sorry, but this is just better than what they're doing on the iPad. Like, I understand, trust me, I get that this looks really clean and sleek and pretty. But people that are trying to get stuff done don't necessarily care about clean and sleek and pretty. They care about flexibility and the ability to just do what I need to do. And again, I'm sorry, but this is a better layout for being able to just get things done than something that's going to snap into weird preset things when I don't want it to. I want to be able to put things where I want to put them. Going further in here, what Steve posted, he starts talking about this stuff. The smart resizing, he says, is frustrating. You could be working in a 3-column app one moment, then dragging another window kicks you out into a smaller window and throws away your sidebar. That would be extremely frustrating. They're trying to guess, like, oh, this is what's best for you. This is what you need to be doing. This is what would be the best layout. And you're like, no, that's not what I want to do. Stop doing this. It doesn't care. You can't organize stuff the way you want. Everything shuffles itself around. Why? Why do this? Why is this what you're doing? Just let them go wherever they want to go. So they've also put the controls here to be able to minimize and maximize the different apps inside this little 3-dot layout that you can see. Is just, why would you put it behind something? Just put it in the bar at the top where it's easily accessible. There's more stuff in this thread. I'll link to the thread in the description so you can kind of go read through it yourself. I'm not saying that iPad is bad. I mean, obviously, iPad is great. It's still probably the best just general all-around tablet on the market. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that it's really frustrating to see a company have such incredible hardware and then hamstring it with their own software. I do not understand this approach at all. They're talking about desktop class apps on the iPad. Great. Bring over the desktop class apps. And while you're at it, bring over the desktop class user interface as well and let people just use their device in a power user way should they want to do that. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.